There is a concern at the moment with the drop in the number of black cab taxis across the country. People are sometimes not realizing that the biggest sufferers from the drop in the number of black cabs is in actual fact wheelchair users, and in Birmingham particularly we have instances where wheelchair users feel abandoned because they can't get a taxi as quick as they used to get one, because there were a lot more taxis available previously. But sadly, the drop in the number of black cabs is causing them to suffer. I think people are forgetting about some of the vulnerable groups that TOA taxis and other black cabs across the country provide a very, very needed service to. Hi, TOA Taxis, how can I help you? Tomorrow morning, at what time would you like the taxi in the morning? 9:30, and where are we picking up from?
Yeah, postcode please? Yeah, my postcode, chair. It's on the horse, and where are we heading, chair? And we're going back to... yeah. You go to Birmingham.
Hello, my name is Taj. I work for TOA Taxis as a taxi driver. TOA Taxis is a non-profit making friendly society since 1961. It was set up to provide a transport service for the residents of Birmingham when transport services were very limited. We do all the pickups from the airports across the country to picking up most vulnerable people in society, such as wheelchair users, across Birmingham and the wider West Midlands. When we started driving a taxi years ago, we had to learn the streets of Birmingham, certainly know where the main roads were in Birmingham, because we didn't have the modern technology such as sat-navs and mobile phones and things like that. We relied on our knowledge, as they say. Being a taxi driver means to drive one of these taxis. Other people, like some of the people that work on the apps, they provide a service for transporting people. They're not really taxi drivers. They haven't taken a taxi test. They haven't taken a knowledge test, and they don't drive a taxi. They drive a four-door saloon that they probably use for their family use as well, and all of the personal use. I drive a taxi, which is a purpose-built vehicle to cater for the travelling public, all types of the travelling public. That includes people that are wheelchair users. Other app providers that provide transport perhaps can't do that. A taxi driver will offer the experience and assurance of knowing where he's going. Okay, he will know where he's going because he will have studied Birmingham, he will have taken a knowledge test. By comparison to a driverless vehicle, it won't have the experience, it won't have the personal experience that a black cab driver will offer. For example, a black cab driver will know how to assist people to get them into a vehicle. A taxi driver, for example, will know when it's somebody who's elderly, will realise that they might need a hand getting into the vehicle. Similarly, a lot of our customers appreciate the personal touch with something as simple as just helping them with their shopping bags.
People should be working for people. People should be helping the other people. Now we are helping the AI to erasing people from this earth. It shouldn't be like that. I don't know why doing that. First of all, if we are going for the AI, if we are going for the robotic taxi, I don't think anybody is feeling anything good about it. Why? Because first of all, what are we going to do if the AI, if the driverless takes over the human driver's job? What are we going to do? And in a crucial situations, how are they even going to act to the customer?
Before we used to go, people serve you. Now there are machines there. So obviously it's a modern slave. So where those people can't, people who used to work, they lose their jobs. You know. So obviously we can ask the local MPs, the local government, the people, ask them to support this. Obviously we need a help obviously in this. So, and at the end what I can say is all these brothers, so make your attention like in the future, the next demonstration, whatever is going to be held.
How are they even going to help the customers? Like, for example, I was expressing one of my one of my situations that before what happened with the customer. That situation, if that happened, an AI in the car, I would wonder how would the AI will confront the customer, give her a comfort, and how would the AI will deal with that. And not only would deal with that, the question is what is going to happen to us? What is going to happen to the millions of drivers whose their main priority, main job is this? And that is gonna, when we are gonna go jobless, it's gonna be jobless, it's gonna be affecting every other sector in this country or all over the world. So it's just not good.
Yes, we had an incident where one of our drivers witnessed a pedestrian fall and hurt themselves. The taxi driver went to assist and eventually took the lady to the nearest A&E, and he did it free of charge. The lady wrote into TOA, and I think it went on to the Facebook page as well, just to express her gratitude for the driver being able to pick her up, assist her into the taxi and take her to the nearest A&E. A driverless car can't do that.
One of the stories that I remember, it was from the Birmingham New Street to Wolverhampton. Sorry, not Wolverhampton, it was by the downside. I think it was Rugeley, yeah. So the customer I was picking up from the Birmingham New Street. And obviously on the way, they had a fighting, the customer were fighting. I don't know if that was a boyfriend or husband, they were fighting. She was fighting with her, and then obviously the man, he was behaving very aggressively. So I was taking a step at them. I was trying to convince the situation to get more calm, and then obviously I was giving her support whatever she needed. Eventually, things was going not very well. She was being treated very unfairly and badly, so I had to stop the car. Being kind of smart here and called the police in the same terms that the police approved. They handled the situations, and then they took the men from the car, and then police appreciated for my work, and she appreciated it. And she also, after that trip, she gave me some tips as well. But she was appreciating so much, like a brother. So I remember there's so many stories about this. Is one of the stories I remember, and it touched my heart. That I could help somebody whenever they needed.
I took a passenger to the airport. Unfortunately, she couldn't pay me the taxi fare because she was having issues with her card and her bank, and I let it go. And it was just one of them situations where you would put it down to experience, and I just let it go. I was surprised a few weeks later for the lady to actually put the money into my bank account. Now, would a driverless car do that, do you think? Or would a driverless car hold you captive until your payment is cleared? Or perhaps in years to come, driverless cars will only carry you providing the payment's already made? Will driverless cars take you to the destination and insist that you get out, regardless of the conditions you might be faced with? Will a driverless car wait until you've actually got into your door in the middle of the night because you're a lone female? Or will it simply just drive off as soon as you've walked out of the car? There are a lot of things that people need to think about and give consideration to when they talk about driverless cars. Evolution of technology is fantastic. If you didn't have evolution of technology, you'd still be using phone boxes and not mobile phones. But we have autopilot on aeroplanes, but they still have pilots. Why haven't we still got some provision for drivers to be in what they propose will be driverless cars? Is it because the lives of those in aeroplanes are worth more than the lives that travel in driverless cars, should they come about? But I can't see why you can't have responsible management of technology to perhaps have what they might describe as driverless cars that are supervised by a driver in the vehicle. For example, providing that human touch to provide the heart in that driverless car. Because otherwise, I hate to say it, but it's just a machine. It's heartless. Do you want to travel with something that's heartless? We need responsible management of technology. We're concerned about the sharp drop in the number of black cabs in Birmingham because we're experiencing more and more people who feel abandoned due to the sharp drop in the number of black cabs in Birmingham. We're worried that in years to come, obviously I may not be around, but I would hate to see a Birmingham without black cabs. Or for that matter, I would hate to see the UK without black cabs. I don't want us to become extinct like the dinosaurs. We need to change and evolve with technology, but I think we need to be responsible with how we adapt to technology, because technology can never be relied on its own. You always need that heart behind the wheel and a face that people can relate to.
Us as a human being, a driver, and if they launch a robotic taxi driver, first of all, if they launch a taxi driver from the robotic, what's our human value? What's our human taxi drivers gonna do? How are we gonna survive? And is it worth it? Is it that drivers, heroes like us, gonna be jobless, and the robotics AI gonna take over the universe? AI gonna take over all the other job sector, which is gonna be eventually affecting other people's job will be taking over. So that's the reason why we had a protest today right outside the Birmingham City football ground.
If you want success in life, you've got to go out there and achieve it. It's the same thing with this. If you want your wages to go up, you want to be treated right, you need to go out there, explain to the drivers what we're fighting for. So it's a responsibility on every single one of us here to go out there and unite the drivers.
Do you really want the prospect of a future like what they show in some of the Hollywood blockbusters? I don't think so. I'm not going to name any films, but do you want Skynet in 50 years' time? I don't think so. And there are certain things that perhaps we will look forward to in the future, like medical procedures that are certainly beneficial. Keyhole surgery is an example, I think. And there it affects a lot of us and provides a very valuable advancement of technology for our health and safety, for our betterment, you know, for us to maintain a healthier lifestyle. If you look at MRI scans, look at the benefit we get from MRI scans. And it's well managed because there's a human operating the MRI scan machine. There's many of examples out there, but I think driverless cars are great in your dreams. It's something we can dream about, but is it really gonna be for your benefit, or is it just another excuse for people to line their pockets? Driving a taxi is not just simply taking somebody from A to B. It's more about being involved in society and providing a heart behind the steering wheel. You haven't got artificial intelligence here. We will, you know, listen to what you have to say, take into account where you're going, and make sure we take you the best possible route with consideration for your needs. For example, I wouldn't take you to a drop-off point with an entrance to a site with a lot of steps if you're in a wheelchair, because it would defeat the object of taking you there, because you won't be able to get into the building. So we'd use things like, you know, our local knowledge to make sure we provide the best possible service. And this is not just for Birmingham. Driving a taxi and the responsibility behind getting people from A to B safely, okay, with the assurance that the passengers need, is a global thing. Okay? Every city in the world has an iconic taxi that they can relate to. In the UK, we have our iconic black cab, like the one I'm sitting in now. And whilst it's evolved over the years, it's still the UK's London taxi.
I can feel it all around. A chronicle of people caving in. Under the pressure of the death temptress, I can see all of fumbling. I see the storm give out. Umbrella weather, not a single cloud. I can see the storm give out. Warriors are tired.